welcome to the 6th Manx Football Podcast of the season. Today I'm joined by the man who puts the loon into maroon, Tom Curfey. How are you, Tom?
Not bad, yeah. Thanks for having me.
You say it every week. I think you're pretty much nailed on now, to be honest.
I don't know, there's still people pretty criticising me.
Dave Brew is, keeps promising you that first team run out that never comes, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But, you're pretty much first team with us.
I'd say so, but I don't know.
It's like Henderson moving out to Saudi. It's not affected your role. You'll be fine.
Yeah. I'm also joined by a man whose love for FC Alaman is only surpassed by his love for pot noodles. Other pot noodles are, of course, available. Samson.
I love the pot noodle.
First of all, I just want to say what a great job you did last week without me. I'm considering retiring after not being ill. I listened to that on the coach back to Geneva Airport. I was very impressed.
Yeah, a lot of people I've spoken to have said, I think Andy's done.
Yeah.
I think Sam's the new host, but get the scarf off, we might be able to talk about that.
What was shook me was how much more lively he was when you did it.
Yeah, normally he responds when you ask him, how are you, Sam? He goes, not bad. But last week he was quite up for it. He was the one who was going to take it over, wasn't he? Like, me and Dave aren't going to stand here and host. I mean, it would be the Moran podcast if I did it. And if Dave did it, it would just be about the weather, because he loves weather, that man, doesn't he?
And combination football.
He does.
Talking of Dave, he's not, as you may have noticed, he's not here today. He's actually at his niece's birthday, so happy birthday to her if she's listening. Thanks, Freya. So happy birthday to her. He promised to bring us back some jelly tomorrow, so we'll see if he carries through with that. Also, our man from the south, Adam Moonlighter, not here either. He's off ill today, so get best wishes, Adam. Things people will do to not do the podcast.
Yeah. See, I'll wait around until 6, 7 o'clock if we're not. But Adam's straight out the door saying he's ill. I reckon he's claiming it.
Yeah.
This could be. Adam spoke well in the podcast, and Colby are doing well. Maybe this week. No, Adam. Colby might fall.
Colby, it's a big game this week as well.
Exactly.
We'll talk about that in DPS Division 2. I think we've all remembered that correctly for the first time. Good week, Sam.
Yeah, it's been alright, I guess. Yeah. There's still an offer on at Tesco. Other shops are available for the pot noodle, so it's a good result.
Any flavour in particular?
I quite like the peri-peri chicken.
Would you, I'm going completely off piece here, would you ever turn up to a local football match, I include FC Alaman in this, go to the hatch or kitchen or whatever they have available and say, I've brought a pot noodle, can I borrow some hot water?
No, that'd be unbelievably disrespectful.
But it would be the most Sam Turton thing to do in the world, I think. It would fit his character
Would it be
so
that
well.
disrespectful?
Yeah, I think it would.
It depends on what offerings they have.
It's not like turning up and heating up baby food, is it? It's a bit further than that.
I think that's all right,
Hating the baby food.
No, obviously that's all right. But, no,
Is it?
Does that happen at clubs?
Don't have to
How many have microwaves?
We don't.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah.
So we've discussed Moran's struggles with food half-time scran already this season at length. But would you be that offended if he came with a catering pack and said, "Just can I have some of your hot water? Put the kettle on."
I'd question the person a lot. I'd be like,
what would you if he took 50p in for the lecky?
Oh, well, 50p, that goes towards the run of the club. I'd be okay with that. It's still a bit odd, though.
Do you think?
I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
You would do it?
No.
But if they were offering pot noodles, what about if a club was like offering them and you were hungry at half time?
I mean, if a club's offering pot noodles, then they're going to win this year's competition of Scran of the Year.
But I feel that's actually something that's not a lot of effort for quite a big return.
But how many people want a pot noodle on a Saturday other than
I'd
Sam
take a
Turton?
pot noodle.
I'd take pot noodle.
I'm not a big pot noodle
It's
fan.
like it's in that cross section between food and drink, hot beverage.
Yeah, it's like Bovril, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially
But
with
bit meatier.
the peri-peri when you get to the bottom and you get to find out whether you put the right amount of hot sauce on or not. Because otherwise it's a bit bland. But if you get to the bottom and you put too much in, you got all that. It's a bit.
I'm not a pot noodle fan, you see. I wouldn't be very happy with it.
What's your favourite pot noodle?
Peri-peri chicken.
Oh, peri-peri, that's controversial. Not one of the classics.
No.
Chicken chow mein or...
No.
Oh, no.
You've got to go big.
So, where would you put it in at the price level?
170?
What's you get it at Tesco?
Well, it's currently on offer at 70p.
But how much?
That's if you've got a club card, which is a very important thing that we have to stress in these times. You have to get your club card, get your co-op membership card, all that stuff.
Stuff you Martin Lewis. This is where the real money saving tips are, isn't it?
Forget this. We're going to save you some money tonight, folks. So it's about 70p at the minute. So I reckon if the club was charging like 120 for it, then you've got a good deal on that, even from their side. Normal prices are above £1, and I'd be hard pushed to pay more than £1.50 for it. So I can see why the clubs aren't into it.
I'd go 150. I'd go 172 £1.
You are living in a dream world.
People have wondered, how much do you pay for an FC Man ticket, Sam, on a Saturday?
he covers it for the
I've
press.
never paid for one.
Okay, he gets it for free, does he?
I paid for away tickets.
But no, because what happens? We do keep going down this cul-de-sac, but what about if you got an own brand pot noodle variation? Because I'm guessing they're about 45p, 50p.
Mm-hmm.
Then you just sell them for £1.
Yeah, that's profit. That's margins. That's worth it for clubs. I
You
think.
could do them around. You could knock out curfew noodles.
I can't imagine. Do you have to provide the forks?
Do the folks come in?
Do the forks
Well,
come
there's
in?
a single ban on the minute. The
Oh,
single use.
yeah, you have to buy
So
So you have to have a wooden
forks.
fork. I'm not sure about that now.
See, and all of a sudden it comes that the club's just not worth pot noodles.
See, fortunately, I carry a spork to every game. I don't before anyone asks me about that.
I'm sure people will ask.
It's not your first buffet, is it?
Bring me back.
You're like Alan Partridge with a slightly larger dinner plate. What was going so any half-time scrum at the weekend, lads? Is anyone? Cause I feel like we're failing our listening public and viewing public. We haven't really done many half-time scrum updates, have we?
I was at the bowl and I don't think they provide anything to St Mary's Company, do they?
No.
There was
Well, you were
half-time.
playing. It's a bit different.
Yeah, but I still want some food. Could do with a Yorkie bar or something.
I regret to inform you that Laxey let themselves down this past week. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying it as it happened. It was a bit of a cold day on Saturday. The rain set in. It's the first proper rainy day of the week of the season, and there was no hot scran. There was only Twixes and Kit Kats by the time I got there. Now they could have been sold out, but I looked around. I couldn't see anyone else with one. The ketchup bottle wasn't out,
That's always a good sign.
Is that,
so I'm thinking there weren't any. However, I did have a nice cup of tea, and it was definitely better than the one I had a bit earlier the other week. So for that, Laxey still got 6.
And have they got personalised mugs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
so that goes a long way, I
Yeah,
think.
personalised.
Yeah.
It tastes better. Really,
Exactly,
doesn't it?
straight
Yeah.
away.
And I don't mean personalised to the person that's drinking it. I mean personalised to the club that's
Oh,
selling
how
it.
good would Sam Curtin mugs be? Each club has one, they just go, oh,
I
here
reckon
comes
we
Sam.
sell at least 2 of them.
Yeah, at least maybe 3.
My mum would buy the same.
Exactly. Right, so this week's mission, try and home in some more half-time scran, I think. Please do send us in your pictures of half-time scran and we'll share them on our social media at Manx Footy
Dean
Pod.
put a good one up, an Onken.
Yeah.
He got cups of tea, and I think he got a Twix out of it, but a big one. You know, the double one, like the twin pack, but the long one.
You know what? I'm going to be controversial. I don't like chocolate at football.
I'm not opposed to it. I like it.
Football is very much, it has to be savoury.
Okay.
Okay, I can appreciate that.
It's just
Yeah.
like, I'm not, I've had me lunch. And this is like a top up before I have me 3 o'clocks. So, but I just don't like it. Chocolate is when you run out of hope, really,
Last resort.
or a bit diabetic. You know what I mean? I don't feel like you need to, like, I'm not
Are
choosing
you
that.
like a sausage roll or a pasty type
Oh,
of guy?
yeah,
Yeah, one of those. Yeah, and I get that.
I had a burger once, or a hot dog. I've had Paul Taxi at Old Boys once give me a hot dog.
But surely you can see why clubs would happily provide a Twix over the pasty.
Oh,
The effort
definitely.
levels.
But we've talked about Manx football raising its effort levels with social media, and I feel half-time scran goes hand in hand with that. Mouth to hand.
Well,
to,
volunteers do all of that, and where are they currently? Where are they normally?
But do you think that's what I'm saying? Pot noodles is the way. I think this could be the secret.
Maybe.
You're not convinced, though.
No, I'm not a big pot noodle fan, and I just don't like the idea of playing football or watching a game and everyone around me eating a pot noodle. Just like, no, pasties I'm all for. Pasties and sausage rolls as well.
I take the sausage roll over a pasty.
So would I at a game, genuinely.
It's easy to hold.
Yeah, handy, easy, less. Well, I say less crumbly. Have you ever had a crumbly sausage roll? You know, it goes everywhere.
Have you got like one of the old Mr. B style ones?
That's
R.I.P.
just-
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll put this debate out to the nation and let us know: should the Isle of Man be a pot noodle free half-time zone? Does that make sense?
I think it does. Well, I
think that was all the right words, not necessarily in the right order.
Yeah, we'll go with it.
Andrew Preview over there. It's one for Hattie and a certain generation.
I'm sure it's on TikTok. Right, let's look ahead to this weekend's Manx football, starting on Friday night. Friday night! It's the Friday Night Project, as Hattie wonderfully dubbed it, down at St John's, and they take on Douglas Royal in an early 12-pointer. In the Kind of Life Premier League. Tom, this is St John's are obviously struggling a bit at the moment, and Douglas Royal are slightly ahead of them in the league table at the moment, but the St John's will be trying to aim for some points in this one, won't they?
Yeah, I think just in general the Friday Night Project, I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
I think it's I think what every club would want to have. The fact that the crowd levels, everyone's down there. You know where I love standing? You know, above the clubhouse.
Yeah.
You know, they've got them steps on the changing rooms, on the
yeah.
clubhouse, like a little bit of AstroTurf down, great view. I'm surprised Hattie doesn't go up there, but I know he wants a half, like...
Yeah, he goes to the side.
Yeah, but it's quality, under the lights, everyone there. I think it's brilliant. But with this one, I think St John's, they're struggling this season. They've had a tough start to the season. They've had so many injuries in fairness to them. I don't think they'll finish around the bottom of the half of the table. I think as players come back, they'll be all right. Royals, it's a massive game for them though, isn't it? Because like...
Royals have lost some, last week they lost 6-5 to Ayr.
See, that concerned me.
Yeah, they score some goals. I think they lost 4-3 already this season. Defence seems to be potentially where they can pinpoint the issue.
Yeah.
St John's, no, they won't be happy going. I thought that 5-1 they lost to Peel last week. I thought that'd be a lot closer with the Derby element.
So especially a Peel coming on the back of 2 losses as well. You'd think St John's maybe fancy their chances there. But...
Yeah. So I think this could be a draw. You know, a high scoring draw. Nonetheless.
I think St John's will know how to play under them lights. I think they'll be used to the crowd. They'll be used to playing there. They've done it last season a few times, I reckon. So I'm back in St John's.
This is not like with the question around can Brighton do it on a Thursday and a Sunday.
This is the question.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I genuinely think St John's will know how to play there.
Have you played on a Friday under the lights?
No, I haven't.
I don't think it makes that much difference.
I do.
Oh, it does.
Oh, it does.
I have played on it and it does make a difference to you.
Why?
It just is a different vibe to it. I mean, also, you don't get it.
It's not like the 100. They haven't got like a calypso band in the corner.
But it's dark out, no matter who's playing.
Well, that's
Hattie's
the
there.
other thing, is that because the way the light structure is like all around you, aside from the clubhouse, it is just dark all around you. Yeah. And it is a different atmosphere down there. I quite liked it. However, I actually did this game last season. I think it was one of the first ones I did last year, and it was, I think Royals were 3-0 up at half time, and they come back to 3-3. And it was it was a quality game. Also, one of my favourite pictures last year was Alex Haddock just stood underneath the floodlights, just absolutely soaking wet, looking like a goalkeeper who wanted to be somewhere else. But I'm going to agree with you and say there's going to be another high scoring draw.
I think you've got to draw.
I'm going to go St John's. I think they're... Oh, there's no Hattie there tomorrow. Are either of yous going?
No, because I think Beck's away this weekend, so I'll have the kids. Unless they go to bed at 7. So.
What, are you going to attend, Sam?
No, I'm in
He's away
Liverpool tomorrow night watching Matty Rennie.
Former St Mary's and Laxey midfielder.
And Govs.
Did he play for Govs?
Yeah, very briefly, yeah.
Oh, is this a Jack Kamada signing? Was he there for like one game?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and
Jamie Devine, who also played for St Mary's and Laxey.
Who, they're both boxing in Liverpool tomorrow night, so I'm going to that.
Oh, fantastic.
I think I'll be there to cover it.
You go tomorrow?
I'm going to go, if the weather's not too bad.
The forecast's not brilliant, as to be said. I don't want to take anything from Dave Reed's weather. Spoiler alert, we still have Dave Reed's weather, even though he's not here in person. So
yeah, keep listening, because it's coming.
It's coming from a secret location, which may be his niece's birthday party. Right, moving on.
Amazing.
There is 5 games on Saturday in the Canley Premier League. Another cheeky 1:45 kickoff with us to contend with. St Mary's taking on Union Mills. We'll start there as it's chronologically the first game of the day. Sam, Mills, they'll be wanting to put right some wrongs from last week, won't they? I think we all thought Corinthians would probably just edge them in this, but not by 7 goals.
No, they got a bit of a hammer in last week. It's fair to say, and I don't know where I didn't see it coming. To be honest, it was one of these sort of ones as well. It's where so I was listening to Rob Pritchard because other sports journalists are available.
Yeah.
On the afternoon, and Dave tweets were coming through as well. Was there one of these? And I didn't see this result coming, so I think they'll be wanting to get something back out of it because I saw them play Laxey and they looked like they had something about them, and I was really surprised by last week. But Mary's are
flying.
They really are, aren't they? And
they've taken that momentum. Because I thought, if we look back at last season, Div 2, they were obviously heavily predicted to go up. It wasn't quite as straightforward as everyone thought it was. They drew a couple of games and they lost maybe 1 or 2 as well. But this season, they seem to have hit the ground running, don't they? And that's quite a hard task to do because, to be no disrespect to the best division in Europe, but there is quite a step up between DPS Division 2 and Canley Premier League.
Yeah, but as we touched on last week, we reckon, I don't know if it was in the pod actually, or we were just talking about it in work, but we were saying we reckon the bottom of the Div 2, Div 1 and the top of Div 2 is quite close, but then there's a massive gap in between that.
gone from the
Oh
bottom.
no, they have, and they're doing well.
They started from the bottom, and now they're here.
Yeah, well, they're flying and they're doing well.
Ian Drake wrote that.
But they beat Moran last week.
Let's talk about that. Yeah.
I will bring up Moran.
Yeah. But it was close though.
Yeah, that's the thing, and I've been told by a few people now that they don't think Marys are actually that good. They just reckon they just know how to win.
But that's a sign of a good team.
No, it is. I'm not saying they're taking away anything about their footballing ability, but I think games like last week when they played Moran was just 2-2. They just grabbed a late 80th minute goal and they just steal the points. It was awful conditions and it probably affected the game and maybe it would have been a different outcome otherwise. But they just kept going, and I watched the end of that because obviously when you start the combi you start a bit earlier. Came down late, and as soon as I got there we conceded. So I think I'm a bad omen for the club if I'm honest. But
Dave Brew has said that.
Yeah, it's not just Dave. I think a lot of people on the record have said that.
Yeah,
it's quite a common. Yeah, but I do think Marys will win against Mills, but I think again it'll be close. That's what I think. It'll be like maybe a 3-2 again or something similar to that.
We touched on it I think off pod in the week, and you said the bowl is a massive advantage for St Mary's. I mean, you obviously played there last week with the reverse fixture and the combi.
Yeah,
it's such a big pitch, isn't it? And you said St Mary's will get used to that playing on it.
That's why I think it is a slightly unfair advantage, because to me, and I've said this to you, and I think everyone basically disagreed with me, that is like Wembley. Like the bowl should be like Wembley. It should be left alone. And if you get there, the honour to play at the bowl, that's how it should be. I get that on a Saturday, it's a place that it can't just be left empty. Mm. But I love the idea of it. Like you build up to the bowl. Like you're trying to work every game. You win in the cup. You're building up. Get a game at the bowl. It'd be brilliant. So yeah, but it's so hard to play on. It's a massive pitch, and it's also so different because you've got no excuse if you make a mistake. Like last Saturday, I gave the ball away, and I was like looking down at the pitch, trying to blame that, and there's none of that there. When we're around playing fields, you can be like, divots.
But I always think for me as a lay person, if you were looking at it, it's so much bigger as well. You know, like obviously, I think we would all agree that the Old Church Road is quite a small pitch.
Yeah, we try and narrow it as much as we can.
But that is such a big pitch, and obviously they can't change the size of it.
Mm-hmm.
So they must get used to playing more expansive football.
Exactly, it's an advantage. They know how much space they've got. They know how much more time they've got compared to playing away. They can play in it every other week. They'll get comfortable playing at the bowl. I think, and that's why I'm probably putting Marys again to win, because they're playing at the bowl. So even in the first team, do they start at 1:45 as well? Is that a 1:45?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But I don't wish to take anything away from our FCL Man corner, but they're away this week, aren't they?
Yeah, but it's just a standard
booking.
I think.
Yeah.
It's just an agreement. Yeah.
So, Uni Mills get anything out of this? So we've got to give some help to the Mary Millers.
I think the Estadio del Bernabéu will play its part.
Yeah.
Probably Mary's win, yeah. But I don't know. Mills have got enough to do it. They just have to turn up and want to do it. And if they turn up in the right mood, Mills can get something out of it.
Well, we shall see. Right, elsewhere we have a big game just up the road. If you head out the exit of the bowl, past the McDonald's, past Douglas Rugby Club, a bit further up past Bradden School, over the roundabout, past the striking nurses, turn right. And then you get to Bala Fletcher, and we have Corinthians Ramsey, which I think could be an absolute belter this week.
Yeah, just if anyone's learning to drive, by the way, you don't go over the roundabout. But do show your support for the nurses.
Yeah.
Beat for Jane Curfew if you can.
Yeah, Corinthians what a game.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Ramsey last year really derailed Corinthians' title charge in that game up north, and I just think with this, Ramsey have been so good to start the season. I know last week they had the game against Geordies where Geordies couldn't field a team, but so they got the points there. But I think Ramsey have been so good from the season. It's going to be such a really good game, and Simo's banging form as well. So I think it'll be really interesting. I think they've got slightly different styles as well. So Corinthians are really open and want to go at you. Ramsey are quite happy to sort of concede possession a bit and hit you on the counter. So it's going to be, I think, it'll be a fascinating game this week.
How different do you think it'll be? Right, so Corinthians have come from an 8-1 win. Ramsey have come from not playing a game.
Well, we talked about this the other week, didn't we? And it depends on your philosophical leanings.
Yeah, but I wonder whether it'll be mean that Ramsey are raring to go and they'll be training for these past 2 weeks thinking, let's go. Or Corinthians are like, we've just scored 8 twice in a row, haven't they?
Yeah.
So they might be thinking, we can do it again.
The only thing you could say, that obviously they were playing St George's last week. St George's couldn't field the team, and we were given a home walkover. Ramsey combi will have always known they wouldn't have a game last week because Geordies don't have a combi. They might have organised a bounce game. You just don't know.
Combi first team, something like that. They could have arranged it, yeah.
Or even put that on Tuesday night and said, right, we'll change training this week. We'll do a more of a match scenario.
Yeah.
So this when we get to November, December, January time, when these postponements start racking up, that's when I think momentum gets sucked out of it. I still think at this point this season you've still got a bit of that early season bounce, haven't you?
Absolutely.
But it's a good point. I still favour Corinthians. I think we talk about home advantage. We've mentioned it several times on the podcast already this season, and let alone this episode. I think Corinthians at home are a strong force.
Different beast.
Ramsey, though, again, we have also discussed this. Their travelling form has been a bit helter-skelter, hasn't it? They beat Bragg the other week.
Yeah, I mean, last season was a bit different. This season we haven't seen it yet. I think it's a big thing. But the Bragg result, it was sort of I don't know. They had Charlie back as well that week, so it was a big sort of thing. A big team to pick from. I just think it'll be interesting to see how this week plays out. I think, but I reckon I'm going to go against the Ben Quattro, who does tend to tweet us whenever we say this. I'm going to say Ramsey.
So I'm going to ask a couple of questions to the FC Isle Man correspondent. Who's leaving from Ramsey? Is Charlie playing FC Isle Man?
Yes.
Is Dan Simpson from Corinthians playing FC Isle Man?
No.
Ooh, that could sway my opinion. I was going to go Ramsey. I think they're really strong. I think they'll be up there this season. They could even be fighting for the title. But now you've said Dan Simpson's playing back to back 8-1 wins. It's pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go Corinthians, not 8-1.
I feel this will be this screams to me maybe a 2-0.
Oh no, I'm going to go with like a 4-3 or a 4-2. Bit close, few goals in it, I reckon.
But let's just look down. I want to see just quickly. I don't think was there one clean sheet kept in all of the senior men's football games last week. Yeah, and that's Colby and Combi 2. They beat Douglas and District 4-0. Oh no, sorry, Air United also beat Royal.
Oh yeah, so two
clean sheets. It's staggering, really, isn't it?
It just shows the defences are crap.
Yeah,
it really does.
And the goalkeeping collectively,
exactly,
they're not brilliant.
Yeah,
just checked. Charlie's definitely playing for FC. So yeah, but I'm still going to say Ramsey. I reckon they've got enough to do.
I didn't say you could go on that website on my phone. So.
Some interesting things.
Delete that. That's like worse than watching.
I've just been liking cameo for his team of the week.
We're not bringing him up, please.
Right, we'll move on to one of the games of the season. If you're from Port Erin or Peel, it's Russian versus Peel, the Old Firm derby. This is always a feisty affair, Tom. You know a lot of the guys in the Peel camp. They always pinpoint this one. This is the one they want to win. Probably, as meant much, or if not more than others, don't they?
Yeah, it's the big one, and it's probably, if you look at all the fixtures, it is the biggest game of the week.
Yeah.
The fact that it's at Russians is quite good, I think, because I think Peel would be favourites. If it was at Peel, I'd go with a Peel win. But the fact that it's a Russian home advantage, they'll have a big crowd down. Russian always have a big following, and they get to finals and stuff. They bring loads, so I think Russian will have. Speaking of which, if anyone's going down there, they'll definitely have food on down there, won't they?
Yeah. Get some pictures of the square.
Exactly, yeah. So that'd be, to me, this is the game of the week, and I'm going to go with a Russian win.
What?
Yeah, I'm going to go with a home win. I think the reason why Peel. I've come on record to say the wheels are off. They did win last week against St John's, but I think they're back off this week. I think Russian. Maybe they're just slowly getting into the season. That's what I keep thinking. I'm thinking Russian might just get going at some point.
I think it's Peel away for me all week, to be honest. Sam, do you not agree? Or?
I'm just thinking Russian last time out they started to come back into it, didn't they? They got two draw they got last time out they played.
They drew 3-0 with St Mary's the other week, didn't they? Haven't been 3-1 up, wasn't that? Something like that?
Yeah, I think they got 2-2 draw against St John's, didn't they, as well?
Yeah, recently. But I just feel they're not in top gear.
I think they've got the players to do it. I mean, you got Aaron Hawley there, you got Crystal Zardes there, you got Dean Kearns. There's enough quality in that camp to do something. I think Peel, I get that they had the big win last week, but I just think they were a bit hit and miss, especially against Upper Air. I wasn't impressed. I've seen Russian play as well, but they also got Air played them off the box, so based on that's all I can judge them on. It's a difficult one. I'm going to go with a draw.
A draw.
Maybe my prediction was a bit optimistic.
That's the quickest you've ever thrown it in reverse.
But I'll still go with maybe just a narrow maybe Russian win or a draw. But yeah, I don't know. I'm fingers crossed the Russian win. So.
Any sent off, do you think?
Yeah.
The boundary penalties are very common.
Yeah.
It's
And it's the old firm. It's like, if you were playing in that in 1980, you'd want sending it off now, wouldn't you? You'd want the tradition of the game to stay through. So it needs to be rough.
So we've talked about the Old Firm. Now this is a game that was once dubbed to me by Jim Travers as El Clasico of Manx football, St George's versus Lexi. This was, of course, when they were both duking it out in the mid to late 2000s for the silverware. Obviously, Lexi did the Grand Slam 06. George's then did it several times post-haste of that. It's a different fixture now, of course, though. St George's, as we've already said, couldn't even get a team out last week.
Yeah, let's see if they can be bothered this week. No, I'm joking.
Yeah,
but
it's so strange to see them struggling after such years of dominance.
So I do agree, and I think it's a load of people put like sad times amongst football and social media, and I agree, because a club, if they've only got one team and they can only get one out, it's disappointing to see. But what I was saying to you earlier, which I'm disappointed, I didn't think is right. I think there's got to be a system in place that factors in that if you can't fill the team, for example, if a team goes down on goal difference now. So isn't the rule that Geordie's lost last week, but there's no goal difference? It's not like a 3-0 win.
I don't know. You tell me.
I'm pretty sure there's no 3-0 win.
I think it's just home win now.
And a home win, and I don't like that idea, because if, say for example, if my club was in a situation where we could go down on goal difference to Geordie's per se, there's a good chance that.
Are you trying to suggest that Johnny Miles has manufactured this to guarantee that there's no goal?
He could look at Lexi this week and go, I don't fancy it. I'm not going to get beat 9-0. I'm not saying they're doing that, but I'm saying what's stopping clubs doing that? Brown could play the full season and lose games 9-10-0, but we fielded aside. I think there's got to be a system in play here where you've got to reduce a point. I think you lose a point if you don't fail aside.
I can kind of see what you're saying there. Yeah. That does make sense.
Because at the end of the season, we could go a club. I'm not just saying this in a Moran perspective. I can see what if I was Royals or if I was other clubs in and around that relegation zone. If we go down by goal difference or a point or something because of a club not fielded aside and only not getting any goal difference, and even if it was 3-0, it's still probably unfair. Then it's got to be a point reduction for me. 1-0, 1 point taken off.
I don't agree with being a point deduction, because I think that should only be for breaches of the rules. Whereas I think the idea of doing it as a 3-0, I'd probably do it more as saying a 3-0 loss, but the winning team only gets 3 points. So the losing team would lose the game and have 3 points taken off their goal tally, whereas the winning team doesn't get the goals.
But the 3 goals, Geordies could just think, for Lexi this week, Lexi will probably score 9. They might just say, well, we'll take a 3-0 loss, and then it's not encouraging teams to bother. I think there's got to be a point system in play.
I don't know, the point system could be very counterintuitive though, couldn't it? Because if you're struggling to get a team out, then they suddenly see points getting knocked off them. They're almost thinking, well, what have we got to play for, really? Because we're going to.
But it's 1 point. It's 1 point.
Yeah, but if you've got no points to start with.
Yeah, I get that, but there's got to be a rule in place that stops this happening. I'm not saying Geordies. Again, I'm not saying Geordies are doing this tactically, but what I am saying is you could easily you could easily do that, couldn't you?
Who is Moran's representative on the FA?
Colin Gilbert.
Ask Colin. March is rules revision. He needs to.
I'll suggest it. I can't see many people backing me, but I don't know. I do think something needs to be done about it, because
there was obviously been a tweak, because I always thought it was 3-0.
Yeah.
So there's obviously been a tweak of the rules.
But even if it is 3-0,
if we were better researched, we probably should have asked Kev at the FA more about this before we came on air.
Well, I assume Kev's listening, so he can answer us. He'll send us an email when this is finished, Kev.
We'll hopefully come back to it. Back to the football, though.
Yeah.
If Geordies do get a team out on Saturday, is there any way they can get anything out of this game?
No, I think Lexi last week, they
were good. I mean, considering the number of changes in that team.
Well, I was going to say, Greg Kelly's a new name to me.
Yeah, come off the bench, scored 2, looked good. Ethan Hawley out in the ring.
Adam Carouche?
Everything was quality. Adam Carouche he had a really good game. It was a really good performance for Lexi, which, again, chatting to Johnny Brown before the game, he said about it's another week where he's had to make all these changes. I'm really struggling to find a way that I can see Geordie's getting anything out of it.
And then, he's made all these changes, which is fair enough, and the combi is still 174.
Yeah, it shows the depth, doesn't it? And also it shows, I've spoken to a couple of the Lexi boys, and Tom Cowan, I
You're
think.
speaking to him again now.
Well, not them type of Leicester boys. I was speaking to Tom Cowan. I can put up with him. And he was saying that it worked in midfield. Instead of having Brody and Ryan Gartland, they're similar players, as you've said. Instead of having them, they had workers.
It was a different performance from that. It was a lot more of a dogged performance, and it was a lot more sort of high energy almost. And that's not to say that Garty and Brody don't do the run, and they do. It was just a different sort of midfield performance, which is really interesting because obviously Brody was suspended and Garty was not able to play last week. But so it'll be interesting if he comes back into it or where it works, because I think from Johnny's point of view, it's one of them things, isn't it? It's a great problem to have.
Yeah, it hurts me to say
you
this.
can change 6 of your team, still win a game like that.
But how does he keep everyone happy?
But you don't, and that's the thing. But the thing is, people who've gone haven't been dropped, have they? They're not playing for different reasons. I feel like.
Chatting to Johnny, I think he was quite open about it. He said, if the lads want to be happy, they can be happy at the end of the season when we win something.
It's an if, by the way, not a when.
An if.
Can maybe do nothing.
But I think that's a fair enough sort of thing. I think he is a little bit frustrated around how he is having to chop and change team. Obviously, there's reasons for that. It's amateur footy at the end of the day. But I think that again, chatting to him, he's just he wants to see this team win, and I think that for him, being happy is at the end of the season. It's not about now, really. It's you're happier with the result at the end of the season than you are having played every week and not having won.
I saw one of the goal scorers last week with George Burrows, the midfield dynamo. He's emigrated to Australia this week to play cricket. Well, I say emigrated, he's gone to Australia.
Is he coming back?
I think he's coming back at some point, but he's going to be out for a large chunk of the season playing cricket over there.
That's a hell of a way to refer to it. Out for a large chunk of the season.
Yeah.
So, but he'll be a big loss. He does a lot of running for them.
It's a quality problem to have. For, as we say though, like it almost annoys me to say it, that he's got a luxury of players that you can just. Well, you lose a really important player. You can bring anyone in.
But that must. I was just thinking that with the names we've mentioned, that must make training really intense as well, must it?
I bet
if they're all trying to impress Johnny, and they're all in good form, and the training must be must be bounced off the walls.
Must be about 60 there, considering they signed every person I know.
Apart from you.
Yeah, apart from they did inquire though.
But the agent loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Cam got the move instead of me. Although not that I'd leave.
Right, you two going to Laxey away wins this week?
Yeah.
Just for old time's sake, and because poor old Judge might be having to man-mark one of these whippets that we've been talking about, I'm going to say Geordies will get something out of this. I reckon he'll get a point. I just think they've got the miles on the clock can sometimes... Do you remember Richard Goff signed for Everton when he was 38 or 39 or something stupid like that?
I don't know.
And he was one of our best players. And it just because he had that extra yard in his head, and I think Geordie's just might. If Laxey turn up and think, I'm going to give these a walking, I think they could get caught out. Also, it depends if Bassie's on watch or not. So.
Yeah, I hope so. I'd say. Yeah.
Right, last game in the top flight this weekend sees Ayr United take on the mighty.
I am.
Yes, Ayr United quietly going about their business and putting themselves in the frame of title contender, I'd say.
I'd say the same, and I've got a feeling it's going to be another tough week for Moran. A long journey up as well, so not only are you going to get beat, you've got to travel up north to do it. But no, I think it's Ayr have been really strong. They've looked really good. They've beat some good teams, beaten Peel, which we all loved at the time, but now when you have to play them, you're going, oh gosh, because they're strong, aren't they? They've got a lot about them. They've got all the players they've brought back in, I think, I saw one of the goals. Well, Dave got that photo wrong. There wasn't actually a goal. That was a goal.
Oh yeah, talk about that.
Yeah, but then a couple of videos of their goals that you got, it was a bit of a messy from Peel. But Ayr just looked like they can just grind out results as well.
Yeah, I think I don't think he'd be too happy about conceding 5 last week, but they do just seem to score. And again, there's nothing. They just sort of do it. There's no sort of. I mean, there was some fantastic goals in the game against Peel, but at the same time, they just sort of get on with it and just keep going. And they're not a team that gets shaken very easily. So also they're playing them around, so it's going to be an Ayr win.
Thanks, Sam.
Sorry, Moran. They've got to take positives from that result.
Absolutely, and I think we just put. Speaking to everyone, I think we deserve, and what I watched, we definitely deserved at least a point there, and that would have been meant a lot. Yeah. I think a point grabbed at home to some areas who are doing well. That'd be really good. But I think training this week's been really good. I wasn't there on Wednesday. It's looked strong. I think I think we just every week we just got to keep working. So I don't know. I'm going to go us anyway.
We've talked about actually having a lot of disruption within the team every week. Brown actually often are quite settled, aren't they? And Brew's got, the fact Brew's been there since year dot as well.
Yeah,
The whole club
years.
is quite settled, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know you've brought some new guys in, but
Lost a few loyal ones as well.
but we're going to get a jar, I think, where you have to put £1 in every time you make a comment about Cameron out.
I didn't mention his name. That's a swear word in my face.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But it's quite a settled squad he has to choose from, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I know Harry Barton's not free this week, but I know what you mean in terms of most of the time it's the same, more or less the same match as well.
And I know there's a few like Mike McAllister,
Combi ones are in and around.
But
unfortunately, I'm not. but it is quite settled. I know what you're saying, and I think
that must be advantageous.
It helps. It helps, I think, and it probably helps that although we're losing a lot of games at the minute and we're not grinding out results, I think it'll help that we're all playing together. We'll get used to it. Like for example, Harvey McAllister's team of the week this week. Yeah. He's come in at left back, speaking, talking all the time. He'll get used to playing alongside Matty McQuarrie, Harry Barton, the back four, and game by game. Even though like last week, as you say, positives will come. You get used to the players you're playing with week in, week out. Less people going away.
And you got settled. Nick Corlett's been regular goalkeeper now as
well. Two times in team of the week as well.
Yeah.
So he's been really good as well for us. We'd be done without him. So
yeah, I'm still going to go for it after talking about that so much.
I thought so. Yeah, most people will not back us. And this is what last week I didn't think anyone really thought it'd be as close as it was. So I'm going to go with Moran to shock everyone.
As always.
Yeah.
Right, let's look ahead to the 5 games in the best league in Europe, DPS Division 2. We'll kick off with the game involving Colby, because it's a massive derby game. The current leaders, Colby, which we should probably say as well, they take on Malou in the derby at the Station Fields. It's been going really well for Colby, hasn't it, Sam? They've been, every challenge they've seen, every week we say, Adam, and he's like, I don't know if we'll do it this week. And they have. They've overcome every obstacle so far.
Yeah, do you remember like when Claudio Ranieri was at Leicester, and every week it was just sort of, we're just doing one week, so we're just little Leicester. Yeah. I think Adam's got a touch of that now about Colby. I just said if I spot Dickie Gale taking the lads out for pizza,
Paul Costain's going to sing on the pitch after.
Oh, it's going to be what a scene that would be.
We could probably make that happen.
We could, yeah. It's stopping him that'd be the problem.
Yeah.
It's got a great voice, Paul. No, it is good to see, isn't it? I mean, it's good to see a different sort of thing. Because Colby have one of them teams that for years you sort of like they kind of should be up at some point, and looks like it could be their year. They're sort of doing things a little bit quietly, but picking up results. What was it, 4-0 last week against D&D?
Yeah.
Ollie Edge got... No, that's a combination, sorry.
They were one of the two combi teams.
Yeah, so it's 4-1, so Paul Whiteley again got a goal. Jordan Edge, it's the sort of the Jordan
Whiteley, we thought that's probably potentially be one of the signs of the season for Colby. He always scores goals, whether he's at Royal or Onken. And he's gone into Colby, and I think he's scored most weeks so far. Carl Hickey, we've mentioned before, he went from centre half to centre forward, and didn't he score 8 once against the game? Was it against Governors?
No,
yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. So he's a great striker. Jordan Edge, the mercurial Jordan Edge, very much the Zlatan Ibrahimovic of Southern football.
I just had that in my head. Yeah. I was listening. He's a bit like Zlatan, isn't he?
Johnny Croft. He's a stalwart built in the same mould as Tom Curfey.
Big belly.
No.
I was still lives with his mum.
Let's not slag Johnny, Mr. Croft. But yeah, he's been at Colby forever. Just a steady lad. So yeah, good result. They've got Malou this week. Malou now. There's always a bit of these players that move between the two of these clubs, isn't there? They'll add an extra element to this. Malou will be keen to take some of the shine of this start of the season that Colby have had. I think this might be a draw. This might be Colby's first drop points.
Yeah, I mean it's really hard to say Malou because obviously last week they played Dhaka, who haven't got first team, so it's a bit difficult to say what Malou are going to be like this week. But it's one of them, isn't it? It's another Southern derby, which there seems to be so many of in Div 2. I don't know. I reckon Malou could. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm going to go with Colby for Adam's sake. I'm not going to say Colby.
I'm going to go with Colby as well. I reckon that it starts picking up when you're like winning. You just start getting into that mode of like you turn up on the
It's just
Saturday.
the pressure's off, isn't it? You just start playing football.
I don't know why I'm acting like I know what that's like.
They've also got
But
to think if they're guaranteed, like you say, they're basically guaranteed goals, and I just think that's such a big advantage having people you know are going to score goals.
And again, I know that it's only a short journey from me to Luton, but it is at Colby, and they'll be thinking we're at home. I remember what was Adam saying about the food selection at Colby? It's not the best, did he say?
Yeah, he said that he doesn't. No, I think he. To be honest, he didn't really know, which worried me, as he's a committee member.
Yeah.
You'd think he would have been discussed at that level what food they're selling, but yeah. Right, moving up the Ballamorda to Foxdale, and they take on the mighty.
What did you Ballamorda?
Ballamorda.
Oh.
Hold on.
Ballamorda.
Ballamorda Street, no.
No, Ballamorda. Okay.
Culture Brandon, if you're hearing this.
Foxdale versus Old Boys. Old Boys return to DPS Division 2 hasn't quite gone as we thought it would go. Foxdale on the other hand though,
flying,
and they've got the
guess who's back.
Guess who's back? Yeah.
Chatwood's back.
How many did you score last week?
He got 3. He got a hat trick
against
Gyms, which they won 10-1 in. So he knew exactly what he was doing coming back in that game. I thought he listened to Adam's criticism of Gyms and he thought that'll do. But yeah, Chatwood. I don't think they did he did the walk out of smoke out the changing rooms that I wanted him to do. But
it is an away game. It's difficult to organise it in such a short period.
Yeah, that's exactly. Maybe this is it.
You'd have to get Cronkborn to agree to it, and also, but you know.
But I can hear rain outside right now, so this means this game is 100% off at Willigate Park. So we'll not be playing on Saturday.
Yeah, Old Boys. You know, we heard Dave talking about it the other week. They had the Stewart brothers are meant to be back, and a few of the old lads, Rob Ward. And like they won last week, they beat Govs 3-2, didn't they? So that's a good, finally getting a win on the board. But this is a tough ask. As you say, I don't think it'll go ahead.
But it's a tough and Foxdale are flying, and as I say, they were doing well without Chatwood. He's been added back into the fold. This really could be the season for Foxdale. I'm going to keep adding that pressure onto them though. Because this is what they do, they crumble towards the end of the season. Barton, if you're listening, you're going to crumble. But if you keep adding that pressure...
Well, we are coming into the window, their mid-season window, where they don't play games.
Oh yeah, they won't play, yeah. That's that's probably a luxury, though. I think they like that.
I'm not going to lie, I do quite like the spring evenings up at Foxdale. It's a nice place to go for a
back in the moon
game. So so I don't mind if they have games called off.
Sam, Foxdale?
Oh, I think you got it, haven't you? And I really want... I'd really like to see Old Boys pick up a win, but nothing against Foxdale, of course. That's just sort of go on, probably Foxdale.
Another game down at Colby this weekend sees Governors Athletic take on Paul Rose at 2:30. This one now, Gov's performances are definitely improving this season. I think they've narrowly lost most of their games, and I think they've got points in most. Sorry, not all of the games, but now they lost a couple of games. Last week there was 3-2. I think they can get a win on the board against Paulie this week.
I think they'll do it. I think this is the week that they'll get a win on the board. I think it's two teams that have struggled early on to get results, but Govs, I just think they'll have enough this weekend to get a win.
Did Paulo's not have a game last week?
No, they lost 7-2
Lost 7-2. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I can't really call this one.
Draw?
Yeah, I'll go a draw, but it'll be a low scoring draw, I reckon.
Do you think?
Maybe a 1-1 or a 2-2.
No.
What
Manx football.
Yeah, I know, but
I'm going for Govs win. They've been training well when I watched them last week.
Why do you watch Governors?
Because they come on after me at Wednesday Night Football.
I just thought you were stood there.
No,
I thought you were doing your research for the podcast.
In the bushes. And then the football just happened to be there.
Yeah. What else are you doing down there, Andy?
You're working for Bielsa these days.
Yeah, Bielsa ball. They're training well. I think they've turned obviously a bit of a corner. I think the performances do need to merit points soon. I'm going with Govs.
I'll go with a draw.
Of course you're going with Govs.
Oh, I'm always going to go with Govs, yeah.
Michael United versus Douglas District should see Michael, I think, rack up another win. Liam Kane seems to be living up to the silver boot potential that we sort of highlighted pre-season. He scored 3 goals at the weekend on the score sheet last week with Dylan Parrish. He got a couple, and Tomo Burnett, who's been scoring and got regularly for their combi, so he's obviously stepped up. Can we give any sort of... Can D&D get anything out of this?
It'd be tough, wouldn't it? Michael will fly, and that attack, I know they conceded... so I don't know how strong their defence is. I know they conceded 2 to Pulley last week, but it's just the strength up front for me, for them. They've got, like, the scorers there, Liam Kane, Dylan Parrish. I'm not sure about the Burnett, but then I also...
He's been banging them in for the comedy.
Yeah, but then I also know that they've got the Greasley, as I say this every week, but they've got Greasley, they've got Bailey Ashton, like, the attack's frightening. Yeah. I think as a defender, you'd hate to come up against that, because you don't know who's going to play. There's so many of them, I don't know how they get them all in. So, I think Liam, every week do you see Liam Kane scores? Yeah. It's literally consistent, isn't it? And I know he's a former Lexi guy, and Tom Cowan was telling me they're trying to get him back next season, so that'll be their 61st player through the door. But yeah, he's a former Lexi man, isn't he, I think?
To be honest, I know we had a good season last season with in front of goal for Michael.
They were lucky not to go up as well, weren't they? Last day.
I feel that sort of galvan can either make or break you, actually, can't it? You either think, right, we know what we've got to be to get to that point again next season, or you think, oh, that was a lot of effort and we didn't quite make it. And you sort of split up, didn't it?
It's what Foxdale normally do. It gets there and go, oh, that was close, wasn't it? We'll try again, but we'll half-arse it.
The Foxdale approach. But yeah, I feel Michael, they're playing well. I unfortunately for Dave Matheson, because I know he'll probably be listening, I just can't see them getting anything out of that. If it's windy, that'll be horrible down there as well. But it's maybe quite nice on Saturday, I think. I don't wish to take anything away from Dave for each other.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, it's hard to say because I haven't seen either of them play. I don't really know a massive amount of either of them. All I know is that Michael is not a fun place to play away. But looking at what they think, their form so far, like Tom says, going forward, they've got a lot going for them. I can't see D&D finding a way to... You've got to stop them scoring before you even think about... You have got to outscore them, which is difficult. Yeah. Or stop them scoring. I don't think they've got the firepower or the defence to do it, unfortunately.
Last game in DPS Division 2 this weekend sees Rycob take on Jims at Schoolry Gorry and the home of Bovril in Manx football. And we should really get that fact checked because it was a while since I've been up there. But Youthy, I think this could be a home win because Jims just don't seem to be able to get going at the moment. You've been speaking to Maz, Sam, or is it you said?
No, last time I was chatting to him, we were discussing the state of podcast. So,
he's obviously taken over the managerial reins there, hasn't
he? Yeah, I think you're probably right. Unfortunately, it's gonna be I'd say it's not a nice ground to play at the school, and it's a bit weird.
The kids aren't there when you play.
Yeah, I know. It's just I don't know. I just don't like it. I never liked it playing up there. I think the quicker that they get on with moving to the Roy Poole Memorial Park at the end of the pier,
yeah, I still think that's
it'll be much better for them. Despite how many balls they're going to lose every week. So I think, I'm going to say Rycob a home win.
This is where it's sad that Adam's not here because he could go on a 5-minute rant about how he hates gyms and the crap.
He doesn't say he hates them. He just said they were abysmal.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, sorry, Adam.
Don't be putting words in his mouth.
No, I'm not putting that. I wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah. You see home win?
Are we
sorry. Jane Kirby's just asked if she can get the lift home from the airport at 9.
Tell her I'll pop down.
Tell her I'm busy. This comes first. I'm going to go for a home win.
Home win. Right. Before we leave you after this this week's podcast, we'll talk about FC Alaman. Sam, they're back on the road after a brief spell back in the bowl.
Yeah. 1 game at the ball, back on the road again, back in the skies.
But they won last weekend.
They did. I think Matt Shaw's a favourite at the minute amongst the Ravens fans because he was the one who flagged the offside, which, having looked back, it was the right call, but it was one of them at the time where you looked at it and went, none of the home team called for it. Yeah. None of the fans were calling for it, but he spotted it. And
Withenshaw,
who were third, they were ended up losing to a Jack McVeigh penalty, which, if you want a man to score your penalty, Jack's so calm on that situation. But it was just an all-around sort of solid performance. There wasn't a lot of glamour involved in it. It was there was moments. Jacob Crook was brilliant. Pennington, Dean Penny, he linked up really well. And Doyle playing with Frank behind him was something we haven't seen a lot of, which is quite interesting to see how it plays out throughout the season.
Bit like when Everton played Fellaini and Cahill off him, I'm guessing. I'm doing disservice to Sean Doyle, obviously.
Yeah, I was going to say, which one's which. Yeah. I think it was just it was a really good performance in terms of just getting stuck in and getting a result. And it's good to see Jamie Gall at that back as well. So it was
He's quite literally a mountain at the back.
Yes, and then this week, of course, we've got Dean Lees back for the trip to, I'm going to say Burscough?
Burscough,
There we go, Burscough.
You're going, of course.
I'm going, yeah. I'm up there on Saturday.
It's your Manx Sport double header. After you've seen the lads box on Friday night, you're going to Burscough.
Yeah, I'll do
one of
half-time
the famous old names of non-league football, Burscough.
Yeah, they are. They're sort of floating around. Apparently, they've just got a new. Their new clubhouse has opened.
Oh, fantastic! You
just,
opening it? Or?
I think Raven's doing it. Who is travelling over?
Oh, in full.
Well, I don't know because they were meant to be on the Seacat, and now that's sort of fallen apart a little bit because the engine's bust and the timings and all this. So they're now going from the rest of the conspiracy.
Yeah,
are going from. I go to Hisham on Saturday morning, coming down on
the Manxman. That's sailing's already.
I think it's the Ben McCree actually. So it might be the Manxman actually.
Yeah, it's the one.
So the one that's on the threat. So I could be
the only one there.
The one man away, and it's going to be great. Other FCL fans are available to travel from the northwest of England.
Looking forward to the video and audio.
People have told me that they like to see my reaction when Sam talks about FCL man. Am I okay to leave next time we do it?
Yeah, sure. Crack on.
No.
Okay.
It's rude to leave.
It is rude. I'm not that I would.
Yeah.
No, it's just been suggested to me.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to go with the lads will win at the weekend. I think it'll be. Let's go in good form, but I just think Dealey's being back in. Jones has got such firepower coming in now, and just to annoy Thomas, we can bang on about it on Monday morning. It's going to be a great away performance, unlike my rounds.
Right, at this point, what we're going to do now is hand over to Dave Norton for his Combi Corner. Wherever he is, he will insert that now.
Welcome to this week's Combi Corner. 3 teams maintained their 100% records at the top of Canada Life Combination 1 last weekend. Leaders St Mary's made it 5 wins out of 5 with a 6-1 victory at Moran, helped by a Jamie Skillen hat-trick. Sorry about that, Tom. I know it wasn't a good day for Moran. Despite the evergreen Nigel Moody bagging a brace for Corinthians, second place Union Mills made it 4 wins from 4 with a 5-3 success at Ballyfletcher, while Ayr United remained third after defeating Douglas Royal 5-0. And the other match in Combination 1 saw Laxey emerge triumphant 7-4 in a typically Manx high-scoring game at Victoria Road. In DPS Limited Combination 2, Douglas High School Old Boys made it a 6-point Saturday, their first of the season, as their combi side defeated Governors Athletic 5-1. Obviously their first team won 3-2, so it was a good day for them. Also scoring 5 on Saturday were Maloo and Onken, who defeated Douglas Athletic and Castletown 5-3 and 5-2 respectively. And the other game in this division saw Colby record their first win of the season with a 4-0 success at home to Douglas and District. The game between Foxdale and Gins was postponed.
And if that wasn't enough Dave Norton for you in a cupboard, here's some more. Dave reads the weather.
I can't believe I've got my own jingle for this, it's amazing. Right, Saturday is dry, although fairly cloudy, with a high level cloud breaking at times to give some bright or hazy sunny spells. There is a risk of coastal mist or fog developing later, but that should avoid all the matches. The wind, southwesterly 20 to 25, with a few gusts in exposed spots, but it's going to decrease later on, so we should be alright for a few games of football.
Right, any other business, lads, Sam?
No, just, it's be a good weekend for everyone to get out and support the local clubs and
let us know about the scran. We need some more memorabilia, don't we?
We do. That's a big call.
I feel like we've raided the Clare Girling enough, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like we have as well.
The Colby shirt is addition since I've been away. I'm enjoying that. I've got a Foxtel one at home which I'm going to bring in.
Yeah,
but that wasn't an official supporters T-shirt.
I do have an FCL man one to put above Tom actually.
Have you got an
Yeah, we could leave that.
I'm sure we could actually go for one who sorts out.
Or we could put proper football clubs on there, so we could actually get every club. You know what we do? We say it in the pod. We don't get that many listeners, so we should probably put it out on our Twitter, social media, Facebook. And I also like the idea that came to my head literally as we were talking earlier. Laxey do this thing at the club where they do a soccer six. On a Saturday. What's it called? Is it soccer six?
Yeah.
And they put the teams in, and you get the result right and stuff. And I think something like that on Manx Footy Pod where
we used to do it.
Yeah. So why not bring it back?
Okay, I'll put it on the list.
I just think it's a good idea because people want to interact.
We make predictions every week and we don't track them because we're that often wrong.
But then I think you could win one of the Manx Footy Pod mugs we've got. I know we've only got 2.
Dave Norton will absolutely. You've only got 2.
That's true.
He drinks.
Well, we get some more.
Yeah. Okay.
We need to get the guests in as well.
That's guests are on our to-do list. We've also got a few other ideas bubbling around. We need to have an off-site workshop.
Yeah.
which we are working on. We were going to do this weekend, but our star man is away.
Well, Hattie.
No, you.
All right.
I was talking to Hattie. Did everyone see he was also in France last week? I pointed out he was in Paris and I was in Lyon.
Yeah, all right.
I had a lot of confused questions about the artwork last week. Mostly from my mum, who was a bit worried because my dad was with me and I thought that we were in the wrong place.
I'm not apologising to your mum.
Oh, that's a bit harsh.
That's a bit harsh.
See what she says to that.
Yeah. Sorry, Mrs. Dalrymple. Basically, right, what happened was, it was a case of we needed something for you in France. Now, the only picture we had of you in a beret was pretty bad.
All right.
Because
you could have asked for more.
Yeah, it's plenty
Well, yeah, but you weren't sort of like, close enough. And then we were going to put one, and we thought we can't subject Hugo to this as well, so we thought better not do it.
Yeah.
And then eventually we just sort of remembered that the TV show Emily in Paris.
Right.
And went for Andy in Paris. And it was only after I'd done it, Dave went, "You do know he's not in Paris, don't you?" And I was like, "You could have said something."
Plastic on. Watch you go all the effort and then go, "Yeah, I would have done that." Right, on that bombshell.
It's half an hour.
You remember?